There we
So
are.
my coffee wasn't as good today, so I blame the red pillars.
Yeah, no, as you should, as you should. The weather is absolutely shitty in the Netherlands, and we should blame the red pillars.
So
We,
it's shitty today here, so it's also red pill's fault.
it is absolutely red pill's fault. Did you know that that whole entire Reddit forum controlled the weather?
Did not know. We should blame
Yeah.
the red pill on that too.
Yes,
Did you know that
absolutely.
they're turning the frogs gay?
Did you know this pizza place and a certain hook, a female with a hook. Her name, I believe, was Sandy. Sandy.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
not go. Let's not go there. Like, I don't want to be nuked from fucking YouTube. By the way. Oh God! But you were mentioning women are voting for Biden again. It's happening again.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, you could take the preliminary polls with a grain of salt, right? But it women are voting like they've always had, with their emotions, with free shit, with people that support their luxury beliefs at the detriment of men, right? Um,
Mm,
at this point, um, it's it's kind of crazy, right? Because it's been a rough couple years, for America, um, and it's kind of sucks that if this is an indicator that we might not get a sane person in office, right? I'm not a political person, but I am a rational person. So, you know,
yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like, funny you should mention that because that was even like one of the earliest red pill talking points. I don't know if it's the earliest though. Like the earliest was probably game, but like because society wise, socially, it is always said like women are oppressed and blah 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 blah. And then you read, I can't even remember which one it was. Maybe it was Manipulative Man or the Misandry Bubble. Remember that one where it goes into like the whole tax system and how it's not women who are oppressed or anything. No, it's basically men who are taxed up the wazoo so your government can support women, whether they are single or married or whatever. As a man, it doesn't matter if you are a bachelor or married, everything you do that earns you money or whatever will go in one way or another to women who have messed up their lives by bad choices.
well, the way I saw this interview, right? It was in England. It was like a street interview. The whole like, why aren't women doing this or why aren't men doing that anymore, right? And um, basically, the way I see it is that everything's already done. You know, like there isn't much more progress to make as humanity besides maybe cure cancer or I don't know, right? Um, Women wanted men to society was patriarchal back in the day, and women wanted men to take that to be patriarchal. There's this idea that women were like secretly desiring to be free of a husband's shackles, and I'm like, no, they wanted the man. Trust me, my parents grew up in a third world country, and I still saw how hard life was for them,
Mhm.
and they tell me the stories, and I'm like, I'm so glad that my dad was patriarchal, and I'm so glad that my mom was submissive, feminine woman, because that's what it took to get me here in this comfortable apartment, you know. But we every time women complained about something, men would fix it. Like we were fixer uppers, right? Like,
Mhm.
hey, women wanted to travel, so people wanted to travel, so we made planes, and then we wanted to cure certain diseases, so we like men kept fixing society, making it better, and women were now like, hey, uh, we want the throne that you're sitting on,
Yeah.
and then we're like, are you sure? Like, you want to vote, and you want to go to war, you want to be in the military, and you want to not have children when you have sex? Are you sure? Like, they're like, yes, we want it. We're like, okay.
Mhm.
So, and then they kept asking for more. To this day, they'll still ask for more. And I want to tell guys, like, no matter what you do, it'll never be enough. They never, no matter what it's like Chris Rock said, you could fuck a chick with a diamond dick and she'll complain that it's too hard. Right. And
I
you'll
mean,
never, women's happiness isn't like, it isn't static. It's constantly it's like a cup you have to fill every day. They'll never be fully happy, and you have to accept that. And guys that constantly want to placate women, like I saw another weird date site post where it's like, if you don't walk a girl to her car, then if a girl's never asked you to walk a girl to walk her to her car, then maybe you're a weird insult. And I'm like, dude, in the 3 years that I spent dating like a maniac here in Dallas, the only woman that would ask me to walk them to their car were the girls I just had sex with, because I lived in an apartment. I had to walk them down because they didn't know where the garage was, right? If a girl, no, girls that was shooting her shot, like, hey, let's go to my car. Can you walk me to my car? And I'm just like, oh, I see what it is,
Yeah, no, pretty much. Like, date site writes as if he writes children's book psychology. I don't know. I read that tweet. I was like, it's like he's talking to a child.
It's feminized. It's a feminized version of psychology. It's like he feminized Evo psych or anything psychology to do with dating is a minefield. You have to be careful what you say, or else you get canceled like that. Because as you know, Jack, my friend in Red Pill, my friend in Christ,
my friend in anime,
my friend in debauchery or whatever, talking about girl stuff and boy stuff and what we do with our genitals, it hurts a lot of people's feelings. It hurts a lot of people's feelings. Like, it goes both ways. You tell a girl, hey, the wall TM is real. And they're just like, it's universal. They all have this kind of like thing that they have prepared. And I'm like, women are more obsessed with the wall than men. It's obvious because guys are just like, I can't tell the difference between a 30-year-old and 25-year-old. I really can't sometimes. But as soon as she talks, I'm like, yeah, she hit the wall.
I mean, that's where you and I always go back and forth on Twitter, where it's like, guys, the wall is behavioral. I have known plenty of women who are hot after 25 as long as they don't open their mouth every now and then, where it's like, I mean, of course I'm generalizing here, but like, you see it on Twitter too. You can see which girls are hitting that mental wall of like, shit, I'm 30, older than 30. I'm still not married. I still don't have kids. I want to have them, because this is not something where you and I would like put that on women, where it's like, all women want children. No. What I mean now is like, these women wanted children. They really wanted to, and they really wanted to get married. And they hit that age where they know, shit, I now have to compete with somebody 7 years younger than I am, who is more pleasant, who doesn't have my baggage, who doesn't have my financial issues, who doesn't have my mental issues, you name it. And you can see it in their behavior. Oh, that's a big one. You can even see it with Lauren Southern, how all of a sudden she was piling on some new conservative chick who is younger than she is. Yeah, she's like, is she AI? It's like, no, Lauren, she's just a young, hot chick, and you are now irrelevant.
So
she has been for a couple of years.
And that is, ladies, that is the power of shut the fuck up, right? The less you talk, the pretty. There's a saying in Puerto Rico and Latin America. I'll say it's calladita te ves mejor. So te ves más bonita, which is nice and quiet. You look prettier. You look prettier when you're nice and quiet. And that's literally a saying in Latin America, right? Because women destroy their ability to get men by just talking too much. Like men, same as men, we destroy our ability. That ties into today's topic, where you want, part of game and all that stuff is that you want women and people in general to talk about things that make them happy, that gives them, which is like for men, when you meet a dude and you're just like, hey, what's up, bro? And you just talk about their business or talk about, what their interests are. Like, when you meet a girl, you talk about her dog, her puppy, or talk about, the latest show, The Bachelor, or why she watches The Bachelor or whatever. And all that, you don't
say whatever you want, but like watching those shows with a girl, I found that actually to be pretty fun.
Yeah, watching shows with women is pretty fun.
I mean, we there's a girlfriend I used to have. We used to watch like First Dates, And it was just like we would comment on the couples. Like, why is she saying this? Why is he saying that? Like, does he actually think that would work on her? And then we would just switch the lines of the people. Like, what? How would you do that? What would you say? Blah blah blah. Uh-oh, it's Kyle. It's Kyle Matav.
Oh, I didn't even look at the comments. Who do we have in the? We got Alex Patino, Clean Trust Issues. We have Nonstop Dre.
You got this schmo.
We got Riley. We got the usual suspects. Mm-hmm. Daniel Earl. Is he one of yours?
Daniel? Yeah. Daniel's a good guy. And Silver Bishop, of course.
Oh yeah, Alex Patino, the other one. Con boca cerrada no entran moscas, which means in a closed mouth, flies don't fly in.
Oh wow! There is a verse as well in the Bible which Traddy, my so-called Tradcon friend, always uses, and there's something about a nagging wife as well. And I can't remember for the life of me what it was. Maybe I'll text him real quick during the show somewhere. But even in the Bible, it says that. But it's just the absolute truth of that, where it's like argumentative women and things like that all of a sudden become 5 points less attractive. They just do. Like, the one thing that is most attractive about a woman is her ability to be pleasant. Like, hot will get you in the door, absolutely, and will most likely keep you for a while because men don't have standards. Let's be honest here. If you have a thin waist and a nice rack, but you will be able to stay longer the more pleasant you are. And in all honesty, with guys, it's the same thing. It's odd how little you actually have to say as a guy on a date. Ever notice that?
Yeah. Now there are women that are shy that want to speak. And they're just like, I just tell them like Navy stories, and they're just like, wow, you were in the ocean on a boat? I'm like, yes.
With all these men in the shower?
Yeah, but here's the thing, like, so why are there so many women though? Let's flip that. So why are there so many women that are loud and are argumentative and are both online and public in relationships? Why? It's because every bad behavior a woman has because a man allowed it, right? Mm-hmm. So one of the things I learned in the military is when you're working with women, don't tolerate, like, just tell them, hey, I don't want to talk about that, right? Like, so I had women that would come up to me like, hey, did you see this guy's this coworker's Tinder profile? Look how silly he looks, right? That's reputation destruction, right? That's really bad, right? And instead of me going to report her or arguing with her, I said, hey, I don't care, right? And then I would go tell the guy, like, hey, this girl's, being a bros for bros, right? And and then she would never talk to me about that again. And she would respect me more for it, right? Because I simply didn't play her game. And the reason a lot of women, especially how women act so bad, is because there's guys that they're like, she's hot, I don't care. Get on my yacht, get on my penthouse, get on my whatever. Let's have fun. And the girl just pretends she's not crazy for a couple nights. And then she goes on social media with this ego because she hooked up with a guy better than average, and it's all her problem now, right?
Yes.
And like, she's gonna have a hard time in her life, not because she's unattractive, right? But because she's not likable. It's like Patrice O'Neill said, women are so focused on being lovable they forgot how to be likable. And there's two different ways men feel about women. It's we like them or we love them. Very rarely is it both, right? A man in love is like, this bitch. All right, let's go to your mom's house. And God, I'm so tired of it. But you love her, right? A man in like is like, oh, man, this girl's a hoe, man. This girl is great. Like, she's twerking at the club next to me, and I'm taking her home tonight. I like this chick, And there's a big difference between both, because the like girl is like is quiet and fun, and you don't have any expectations of her. You don't care if she disappears, because it's like that freedom from expectation and all that. But the love girl is like, you got to deal with her every day. You're just like, God, this girl, But that's all men are. It's the way we are.
Yeah, I don't know. I know what you're saying. Like, when you're actually in love, your boundaries are way more flexible. You're way more flexible, which is like the trap. which is
Yeah.
the trap we all fall into. But when you just like her, it's like, this is the universe's cruel joke. When you just like her, the relationship is way better than when you're head over heels in love
Yep.
with her. It's
And it
it's
sucks.
just is, and this is why Ryan says hate her just a bit.
Yeah, and she'll appreciate you more, like, not in the way that you think though, but the girls that I knew that had like didn't want a relationship with me, oh, it was so easy, right? Because I could spoil them, and not spoil them like financially, but I could, I could do little things here and there because I didn't have the burden of keeping them around, right? We were just having fun. But when you love a chick, it's you know it's game on hard mode, right? Because you can't treat her like good. You have to,
Like you want to.
you have to treat her like you have to treat her in a way to keep her around and interested and happy. And that's why you got to manufacture the the drama
outrage.
text. Like I text the girl in the morning, hey, I'm tired of your shit, and just go to work and put your phone on silent.
I've done that a couple of times.
Yeah, it's great.
It's actually pretty fun. Like there was, I told you about that, I believe. There was one girlfriend. She told me like, I'm gonna quit smoking. Blah blah. I'm like, are you? Are you sure about that? She's like, yes, I am. I'm like, okay. 2 days later, I don't know why, but I just knew she was with a friend of hers, I believe, who I knew smoked as well. Like, are you smoking? She's like, yes, block. Only on WhatsApp though, and like she lost her shit. Like, ah! And I mean, she hasn't been as affectionate as she ever was when I came to her place that day. Like, I'm sorry. I'm like, that's what you get. Every now and then you have to manufacture the outrage. Let's see. Non-stop Dre for $2. God damn it, Dre. Make women lip closing surgery great. Jack 2024. God damn it, Dre. No, I kind of like the lip filler a bit.
Mehdi had a post about this morning. I think it was this morning or last night or it was this morning about women in plastic surgery. I already have my thoughts on it, but
do it.
It's sad.
I am for it when you can't train it. As in the BBL, I don't get. I really don't understand.
I mean, I understand why. Because I would dance with a chick on Wednesday with the BBL. And it was weird. It was mismatch, like the mismatch of their body.
Why is that?
A big booty is part of a woman's personality, right?
So yeah, but you can train your ass,
Right. A big booty is part of a woman's personality, whether it's natural or it's trained. It's part of a woman's personality. When a girl gets a BBL, it's like she's faking a part of her personality, right? I mean, I can go into dissertation on this, right? Because I am Dominican, and Dominican women have the best booties in the world, and I stand by that statement. That's why black men are like, even Dr. Was it Umar went there, and he was like, wow, this place is fucking amazing. And I have people I went to college with that were black, and they go to Dominican Republic for the culture, and I'm like, yeah, sure, dude, yeah. There's Haiti right there, which is even more black, but you go to Dominican Republic, sure thing, bro. But there's something off, right? Because for the women that get booties and from being trained, there's a discipline there. There is a kind of competence there. Like these women wake up early to go to the gym before work or after work. These women have like this, they're healthier, right? They walk, they have good posture because the butt is like the base of your posture. They're better in bed because they're more fit and they last longer because, the stamina from working out and all that stuff. And it looks natural. It just looks good. It looks healthy. Like men are attracted to health in women. And then the women that have always had big booties, it's just like, it's playful. It's funny because they like their big booty, but it's just like it knocks cups over when they're trying to squeeze through like between tables. And since they've always had the big booty, they know how to move it. They know how to it looks better in dresses. It's just like, it's part of the personality. It's like quirky, for a woman for a big booty, because it could be like the nerdiest girl that's trying to get her master's degree in science or something like that. Like one of my exes, and she has this big ass, right? And it's like, it's like almost like endearing, right? That a girl that's quirky, that's funny, that likes like spouts out SpongeBob quotes, right? I should call her, by the way. Spouts out SpongeBob quotes, right? And she has this like ass that women fly 3,000 miles across the world to get. And then you have women that get BBLs, right?
Mhm.
And it's like you miss both of those parts of the personality that you want that comes with a woman having a nice ass, right? You
Mhm.
miss
Mhm.
out, right? You just get it's plastic, right? Like it, plastic or fat, whatever transfer, and it's just like there. It's nice to look at. My monkey brain gets activated, but like it's not the same. And especially as a Latino guy who grew up in Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic, it's not. It's just strange. It's a very strange thing. So
Do
that's my
you
thought.
do you know that that anime version of like the answer to the butt or tits question?
No.
If I can find it, I'll look it up. But the argument is that boobs are nothing more than fake ass cleavage.
Oh yeah, I mean 4chan. When I was growing, I grew up on 4chan. So 4chan, it's always been this back and forth tits or ass, right? Uh,
Mhm. The
but
great debate.
I will say, listen, everything has pluses or minuses, right?
Mm,
Everything depending on like guys, they they there's some guys that like curvy women, right?
mm,
And these big women with curves, right? Realize
mm.
that she's not going to move she's not going to be as spry in the bedroom and athletic in the bedroom, right? Right? She's going to be heavy. I trust me. I know. You know, I'm a Latino enjoyer. Um, and if you guys like girls with big boobs, right? Lucky you. You know, America's very obese, so they're not hard to find.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. The small waist, sir.
You'd be
Sir.
surprised, guys' standards right these days. You have to deal with boob sweat, right? And that like it,
Gross.
these are the things that you, as a guy with experience, you gain, and you just realize like you start thinking maybe Paul from Come On Man podcast is right. All women are mids, right? Because there's just something about them that make them mid, and
Did,
it's just like always something, you know.
did you know that came from Ryan, by the way?
Oh, Rhinestone. All right.
Yeah, yeah. The and he had a good point. Like the 10 is investment, and he was right about that. Like the 10 is investment, where like every girl's like a 6 without makeup, which is pretty true. Like some are uglier than others, but in general, most girls are a 6 without makeup. And then the 10 makes the investment, which from my experience, I could say is pretty true.
Yeah, and that's why I get criticized for liking Asian women because Asian women aren't the curviest. Asian women are they're not the most spicy women on earth, right? But
Mhm.
the way that Asian women show investment in you is intoxicating, right? For a guy, especially a guy that's tired, that's have a rough 20s, and wants to just a girl that's just quiet, meek, and just hang around, be in the rafters somewhere, and don't bother me while I'm playing Helldivers or piano or anything like that. And it's just like those women are geared for that, right? And
Hmm.
it's just a cultural thing. So, um,
Sit by the desk right next to me and be there. Just be there and quiet.
yeah, and like I've never been girls like, hey, can I give you a massage? And I'm just like, sure. You're asking me? I usually have to ask. So it's like, again, one of the reasons Asian women are winning and they're taking, white dudes like Zuckerberg's wife that apparently is hot. I didn't know.
What?
Someone,
Zuckerberg's wife is hot? I've only
no,
seen her in
no,
like.
that's it's one of those gaslighting where everyone's trying to convince men that she's not hot. Like, come on, like Sydney
No, I
Sweeney's
was just
hot,
about to say, but
Margot
I've only
Robbie's
seen
hot.
I've only seen her in like a sweat a hoodie and sweatpants where
The
it's like,
fact that you've only seen her once means she's not hot. Hot women that are famous get thrown all over the internet. If you're not hot and you're famous, or if you're famous and
that is true. That
you're
is
not
true.
attractive. But
Fortunately, Caesar has returned. Sydney Sweeney has returned. Just saying, I started that shit last year.
yeah, and ultimately, it's like there's something to that, right? And on the women's side of STFU is a superpower, right?
Hmm.
You'd be surprised how far that people don't understand why the dumpy Asian girl is getting these chads, right? And it's
Though,
because simply she knows her role and she's quiet. She's a quiet, meek person. Doesn't mean she never talks. She just doesn't talk about stupid stuff that a guy doesn't want to hear. A busy, high performing guy wants to hear,
I
right?
I wanted to say, like, is Zuckerberg a stud? But in all honesty, Zuckerberg's been making the moves, like doing the Brazilian jiu-jitsu, doing the surfing, working out more.
He just
He's
wants to go
actually,
back to his home planet. I think he just
yeah,
trying to.
that pretty much. But like he's like building himself up, blah blah blah, and his wife's going with him. Where it's like, oh, that's actually pretty dope. I hope his girl doesn't divorce him for like half his fortune. Let's see, Dre for $2. Girls, I don't like eating. Jack, music to my ears. No, 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 no. Well, oh, maybe, but this is kind of what I wanted to get into, which is fun. Like we went into why STFU is a superpower. For people who don't know, STFU is shut the fuck up, and we can say it now because we've been going for longer than 20 minutes, and YouTube doesn't like the F word in the beginning. But my dear friend Nuke, you as well as I have a normal job. We both do.
Yeah.
And we both know that women in the workplace will say the dumbest shit you can possibly imagine every now and then.
Yeah.
And men tend to want to solve problems. We do.
Yeah.
And I am here to tell you.
Yeah, you're never gonna be happy. Like if you go into life thinking that if you solve a problem, whether it be societal, personal, community level, women will never be happy. They will always ask you for more. That is something that young men need to learn as soon as possible. It doesn't matter how romantic you are or how much of an asshole you are. You will still be a villain. The problem is that being the villain gets you laid if you're the bad villain, Just be yourself and don't placate women anymore, right? Do less. Always, if you're thinking of doing more for a girl, do less. Always defer to doing less. She gives you 3 gifts, you give her 1, right? She says, I love you 3 times, you say, I love you once, right? Always do less. And if she leaves, trust me, she didn't leave because you were doing less. She left because she wanted something different. Women put you in a box. What box would you rather be? The guy that gets laid and doesn't have to spend a lot of money or time, or the guy that also gets laid but has to spend tremendous amounts of time and effort just to make her happy, and she'll never be happy. Like, what would you rather be?
Well, it's also like one of the lessons in Married Red Pill, where they got through their divorce and then their ego kicks in, where they want to defend themselves, they want to prove their point, whatever, but they only ended up making the case against themselves worse, because everything they said was just used to make them look bad instead of better, which was what they were hoping for, and it just didn't work in the end. But like in the workplace, you have to realize women like to complain. They just do. Yeah, they don't care what is communicated. They care that there is something communicated. And you will pull your goddamn hair out every now and then when they talk about food or fitness or whatever, because they really think it works like, you know what? I'll just eat snacks all day, but I'll have salad for dinner and then I'll still look good. Where it's like, not how that works. Not how that works.
Yeah, and then we should probably hit on the men's side of shut the fuck up, of being quiet. Okay, so I have this complex of actions and not being an idiot that I tell guys about how to you always have a girl on standby, right? Whether it be like, for example, if you're dating a girl and she decides, hey, I can't see you, I have a guy, I'm seeing a guy, right? Guys will try to explain away why that's a bad idea, right? I'm like, no, dude, facilitate her exit out of your life. That means saying as little as possible. Okay. Or good luck, don't mess this up. 2 words, that's it, right? Why are guys, I've met guys in real life that are like, well, that's bad. We have to explain that like ghosting is bad. You got to tell her that ghosting is bad so the next guy doesn't have to. I'm like, oh my God, dude, just shut up. Text less. Jumbotron rule. Text less.
Oh, yes. That's why I wanted to get into this as well. This is kind of what started the idea. As we know, and not to shit on Walter or whatever, but as we know, a while back, a certain podcaster went into the Asian scene that Nuke loves as much as he does
Oh,
as
we
well.
don't claim her. Us yellow fever sufferers don't claim her
We do not
because
acknowledge her as part of the glorious race.
no, because like once a woman, once like first off, for guys, don't worry about women like that unless you're a millionaire or you know at that level. Women like that will never chase you down or ask for like still protect obviously iron rule number 5, right? But don't worry about
Mhm.
that. It's not your problem. Women usually are not going to want, unless she's like a longtime girlfriend, right? Women are not going to want your seed to that level. They're not going to trick you um,
No,
to that
but
level, right?
even like you're this like top guy who is like leading the sphere and blah blah blah, and you break the one rule. You break the one rule. You don't control the birth. It's like
Yeah,
what?
it's tough, right? Because it's just inexperience, right? Like I've never had a pregnancy scare my whole life. I've had STD scares with women that were like that, ex strippers and all that stuff. And you got to understand these women are professionals, whether they're professional mothers or professional gold diggers, they're professionals, right? And
Mhm.
I did date a stripper very shortly in 2021, when I was starting my journey of dating and all that stuff. And one of the things that helped me was like, shutting up because, I was red pill. I had been on the forums before The Good Book was written. I read The Good Book in 2014. And then from then on, I read other things. I was on forums. I was contributing. I was listening. I was writing down notes, right? And I was like, let me say as little as possible. I was also very polite to her during the whole thing when she found out, when she tried to blame me for giving her the H word. And then I got checked. I was clean. And I was like, how do I present this in a way where this girl is going to come over and stab me or cry
Mm.
and she cried over the phone. And 2 years later, she wanted to meet up. And I was like, it's a super gentleman. I didn't blame her or I didn't blame myself, right? It's like when you get into a car accident, you never take the blame. You just quiet, like, hey, are you okay? All right, cool. Let's wait for the cops to come. And that's it. You don't say anything else, right?
Yep.
Um, and it's tough for guys that haven't that go from maybe getting fives and sixes barely to getting chased, you know, having 10 women in your DMs begging for you to like hang out with them and have sex with them eventually, right? And that takes a lot of discipline for a guy, right? And there should have been what gets me, right? Because I have slipped up. I am a human being. I have slipped up. It's tough, especially with Latino women, where they use the PAPI word when they're on top of you, and you're kind of buzzed, and it happens, right? Luckily, it's difficult to get pregnant unless you're like constantly nutting inside of a girl, right? Um, and all that. So yeah, I have slipped up, right? So I can't take the high road too much on this, but
No, 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 me neither. But
I will say that with the amount, if I had people like Rollo Tomasi in my phone, if I had people like James Sexton in my phone, if I had people, um, you know, if I had people like RP Thor in my phone, if I had people, like those people in my phone, right? That means that I have a certain responsibility to them to not do stuff like this, right? Because they're the ones that I'm going to go to for advice, right? Like if I ask you for advice for fitness and I do the opposite, that's going to piss you off, right? These people, like that's what gets me. And I said this the other day, I don't forget what show. I don't have anyone, Jack, to tell me what to do with women. No one, right? My friends are still struggling here and there with women, right? Obviously, they're doing much better than before, but they still slip up and stuff.
Mhm.
I have no one to go to and be like, what do I do with this shit? Obviously, I can talk to you guys, right? But I like, I just
It would be nice to have somebody in real life. I know I have the same
yeah,
thing. Although
and
Watson is pretty based. Watson is pretty based, where he has told me multiple times, way sooner than I want to do. Is like, nope, done, done. Next, like
yeah.
he's pretty brutal in it. Like he has a girlfriend now, and I mean, I'm surprised in all honesty, and not because of
Some
him.
guys
Like,
guys are just competent enough to understand and use rationality when dealing with women. A lot of guys aren't. They use emotions and ego, and then it gets them nowhere, right?
Mhm.
Um, and and now, like I was saying, not to be the victim here, but I have no one to tell me, hey, Nuke, this is stupid, or hey, Nuke. All I get when I'm out with a chick, wow, dude, she's kind of hot. That's all I get. There's no advice. There's no like, hey, man, like, how long have you been seeing her? You know, um, and I've done stupid stuff in the past, and no one has been there to be like, that was stupid. It was only me. 6 months later, like, damn, did I really do that? That was stupid, And that's the thing. That's what gets me about the situation is that you have literally world-class lawyers, you have world-class relationship experts, you have writers, people that have started. I'm not gonna say started, but people that are known and are synonymous with the word red pill in your phone, in front of you as friends that probably love you as a friend too, and you let them down, right? Like,
Well,
if
I
I do
wouldn't.
something stupid, I'm not letting anyone down because you guys aren't like, I love you guys, right? But I don't hang out with you guys in real life. You're not like, I'm not
Yeah.
calling you in the middle of the night if I'm in a car crash, right? I'm calling someone else
Oh,
because you
you
guys
better.
are here physically, right? But when someone I know, like a close friend, does something stupid with women after I told them not to do it, I feel mad. I feel kind of angered, right? Because you idiot, I told you, right? I told you not to do this, you idiot. It's like that scene in Jarhead in boot camp where the Marine is crawling. He's like, don't put your heads up. And the guy puts his head up, gets killed, right? And the drill sergeant is just yelling at his dead body, like, you idiot, you fucking idiot. I told you not to do that. And that's what it feels like, right? And that's
Well,
why Jumbotron's role is so effective. It's for those guys like me that don't have those Rollo Tomasi in their phone to be like, hey, dude, what do? I fucked up,
well, I wouldn't even go there because, like, no, I'm not going to go there. But what I mean is, what I noticed about this whole situation is that they didn't shut the fuck up. They doubled down on everything. Where it's like in my humble opinion, when that girl started even like throwing more shit up, he should have just been quiet and let James Sexton handle it. Where it's like, you are my lawyer, you are like the guy who knows everything, do it. No, instead of that, they went on a podcast and called her whatever and put all these private information from her out there in the universe, which is why I think it's all fake. Because if this really goes to court and whatever, both parties are pretty fucking screwed because they opened their mouth about it continuously.
Now, will he be okay? I don't think the trial is his because
No,
they
probably not.
did a breakdown of the analysis, and she had just gotten off birth control for him. And you don't just get off birth control. It takes a couple months for that to completely go away. Like you don't get off birth control and all of a sudden, boom, you're fertile as hell, right? I don't think that's how it works. It's just he made a lot of mistakes that I made, right? When I was getting started into the dating thing, right? And this is before 2021, right? And a lot of mistakes that my family members make and my friends make, right? Like one of the biggest mistakes is meeting the mom, right? Your mom is sacred. You don't show women that you aren't ready to marry around your mom, right? I thought that was traditional. Now your dad or your mom should have taught you that, right? I made that mistake in 2014. 11 years ago, I made that mistake. Or 10 years ago, I made that mistake. No, 2013. Yeah. I brought a slutty girl to see my mom, and I still regret it to this day. Like I regret it because it was almost like I felt like I was disrespecting my mom, right? I thought that was like super shitty, right? And those are
Barely no one got that dark joke when you said, I haven't brought a girl home since 2013. I'm like, 2000.
Yeah. And it's just like shutting the F up is tough, right? I'm not saying it's easy, but it's so necessary. If you want to date, especially beautiful women, especially if you have money and clout, you have no choice because you will not last long. They will find a way, right? Jumbotron test, right? If you absolutely need to talk dirty to a girl, use Snapchat because the messages delete instantly, right? Be fucking smart. Dating and success with women does not come down to all the time game, and it does not come down to social status and clout, right? Because if you're not smart, all that you can have 100 women and it will be cut short because of stupid decisions over time, right? I tell guys, hey, when a girl leaves your life, be smart about it, and be smart by facilitating her exit. That way, if she ever wants to come back, it's 10 times easier for her to come back, because she has a positive memory of you, of being the fun guy that lets her do whatever she wants, right? If if you don't like shit on dating apps or day game or social circle, do fucking everything that way you always have a girl or on standby, because you decided to employ all these things in different ways, right? You want to win, right? You don't want to die on weird hills like dating apps are bad. I'm like, well, there's still guys getting laid on them. Talk to them.
No, plenty of them are still doing that. Like, so tomorrow's Rule Zero is going to be about the dating apps, like the future of dating apps. And even though they are a business model, let's be honest here. Tinder Platinum and Bumble Premium. Yeah, Premium it's called, I believe. Those are just business models for men to get the hopes up that they will be seen more and blah, blah, blah. But the truth is that your profile will just be swiped on more if you have a good profile, if you take good photos, if you look good, have a look at least, things like that. That still holds up. But are dating apps being used less and less? I don't think they are. I haven't seen the data or whatever, but people still use them. Now, does this mean day game is irrelevant? No, day game is still relevant. Does this mean bar game, night game is irrelevant? No, that is still relevant. Things like that. Instagram is still a big thing as well. But just because you don't like something doesn't mean it's no longer relevant. And you know what? Maybe just ask yourself, like, what don't you like about it? And what could you do to still use it and enjoy it anyway, instead of throwing it away? Because all you're doing is you're lowering your chances of getting somewhere.
Yeah, it's basically like you put out fishing rods
Yep.
next to your boat, and you just walk away and have lunch and stuff like that. You're not going to get as much matches as the clouded millionaire, local SoundCloud rapper here in Dallas or something like that, right? But you will get something, and it's minimal effort. How much calories does it take to go out to sit on your couch in your underwear eating hot Cheetos and swipe for 30 minutes? Like what, 50 calories, 100
Not
calories?
even, I think.
How much calories does it take for me to go to salsa night and dance all night just for one girl to be like, yeah, I'll give you my Instagram, which is still fun, right? It's like hundreds, if not like 1,000 calories, 2,000 calories, right? So if you break it down on energy spent, it's literally almost nothing, right? Now, there's a psychological thing about dating apps where it's like the churn marketing and like the dopamine stuff. And you have to be disciplined individual to understand this. I'm entering a system, a paradigm where this business full of experts who are incredibly smart, who know more about my brain and how it works than I do, and how to keep me hooked on this app. I have to be careful and I have to be disciplined, meaning I should have a designated time when I swipe, when it's best to swipe, which is like 6 to 10 on the weekends, right? Also, if I'm getting no matches, it's been more than a month or 2 months that I'm getting nothing or nothing good, then maybe my ELO score is low. Maybe it's time to delete for a while, go on a 3-month break, because it's like 92 days for the app to reset, and then start again, which is what I advised last night for guys that are burnt out from dating, right? And the thing is, like, again, it all boils down to don't be stupid. Right. Are we allowed to use the R word on Facebook?
Yeah, we're allowed to do it.
Yeah, don't be retarded. It's like it all boils, like, guys, usually it's because they are retarded.
or if you have been retarded, just own it. Just own it and don't double down on it. Just be like, you know what? I was emotionally invested. I acted retarded. Here we go.
Yeah, and it's okay.
And be honest about it. It's like,
and it's so much easier in life to admit your mistakes. It's so much easier.
Yeah, no, it is so much easier because we are all human. We have all done it. Like, it probably will happen someday or whatever, that like you or I will get nuked out of orbit from Twitter or YouTube. And it's like, well, yeah, I was a retard. It happens, and F me tender. It's like, well, fortunately for us, not as huge as Jack Murphy. Thank the Lord.
Yeah, that's another case of shut the F up.
Yeah, but it's like even Murphy could have recovered from all of this if he had just stayed quiet. But no, he didn't. He needed to double down on everything, and he needed to demonize everybody who said anything about it. He should have just said, look, I have a bit of a shady past with kinky shit that I enjoyed back then. Yes. Was it degenerate? Absolutely. Did I enjoy it back then? Yes. Am I the same person? Not anymore. But hey, now we're here. But
Well,
no, he went, if you are Christian, you need to forgive me. And if you don't forgive me, you are not a true Christian. It's like, that's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how that goes.
yeah, and that's the thing with a lot of these people that, you know, the easy internet money, the podcast money, you know, they enter a space where they have to, where there's rules, right? Like, for example, in the conservative sphere, there's rules. Like, you can't be a hoe. Sorry. Like, and women who were hoes, this is a daily battle for them to not be hoes, right? It sucks. It's gotta suck to be a hoe or haven't been a hoe and enter a conservative sphere, right? Or whatever they want to call it. And pretend you're not a hoe. That's gotta wear women out, right? I'd just be a hoe and not do that. There's other ways to make money. And the thing is just like, you're gonna constantly get shit on. You're gonna constantly get you know, shown pictures of your past, right? Like all these conservative. And then the thing is, the worst thing, Jack, is that they commit a podcast seppuku or online personality seppuku when they try to tell men how to be men. That is the next step for this Nala bullshit, right? I'm calling it now. She's married. She's doing the conservative dream, the traditional religious dream that all these people want, right? And everyone's supporting her because she's in a relationship and she loves God. The next step, Jack, is going to be she's going to tell all of us how to be men, right?
Oh yeah,
Us men that, you know, like we have nothing to do with her. We've put in our, you know, we put in our work for this undeserving society sometimes, and she's going to tell us, hey, all I've done in my life was do gangbangs, and now I'm married. Here's how you're going to be a better man. And I'm just like, that is going to be insulting. And they fucking wonder why guys are not going to vote this election.
The thing is, like, people will swallow it whole, where it's like, we've seen this before where guys, even in the space where it's like, oh, women don't ask a deer how to shoot it, yet they follow all sorts of women telling them how to date and things like that. And this Nala thing will be the same thing. You've got conservatives all over it, where it's like, oh, tell us how to behave like good little boys. Same as Candace Owens. A lot of guys.
They were raised to always defer to mommy.
Yeah, always. A lot of guys follow Candace Owens. Candace Owens is great, and she's gonna. It's like, no. Candace just tells you what she wants her husband to do, which she probably doesn't. Because never give a woman what she wants completely, because that will make her unhappy. It's like the beginning of the show. We have come full circle now.
Women are more happy when I roast them on Twitter than they are when their husbands bring them flowers.
Oh my god, that reference you made, pot of greed. It's like, oh my god.
That was governor. That was governor, I think. Yeah, well, it was everyone. Everyone in that thread was like, pot of greed, pot of greed. She blocked me. It's hilarious.
I can't unsee
Power up,
it
shut the fuck up. If you have a hot guy, you're an ugly chick. Don't post it on the internet.
Just don't. I mean, don't throw stones when you live in a glass house, kind of thing.
If you're a conservative mom and you just had a kid, don't post your kid on the internet. Also, don't post your kid that you're proud that they said the N-word, because now Child Protective Service is going to all these idiots, right? They're not going away because of their stupid posts, because they're idiots, right? Because there's always going to be idiots that clap like seals for other idiots, because like she said what we like to hear.
Oh yeah, the one who said women shouldn't vote. It's like, oh, the conservatives clap like seals.
9/11 was bad.
Ooh, yeah. America first.
Whoa. They're all either going to prison or getting canceled or becoming irrelevant because they simply can't shut the fuck up.
Yep.
About their personal life. They cannot. Yeah. It's so hard.
Pat Stepman. Even he had to live stream a fucking federal crime for clout. It's like, look at me storming the Bastion or whatever it's called, storming the Capitol. If he had just shut the fuck up, nothing would have happened. Nothing would have gone wrong. But no, had to open his big mouth. Cake tits.
Going to prison.
Going to prison.
No matter how much she posts, she loves Trump. Still going to prison. So yeah,
still going to prison. Posting her kid saying the N-word. That was her, right?
no, that was another one.
Oh, there's a new one.
Yeah, that's a Moody. That's Isabel Moody, I think.
Oh, I thought that was the same one.
No,
Then who's going to prison? Who's Cake Tits?
Cake Tits is going to prison. Isabel is another one.
But what's Cake Tits called then?
She's Desiree DeLuca.
Oh,
She's the one that doxed Rollo's daughter.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
Yeah, so
I thought her name was Isabella as well.
I thought people by now would be smart not to mess with Rollo, because I think like Rollo has a karma bank that I can't. No one can cash checks at that bank. The interest is too high. Like everyone that's ever messed with Rollo isn't doing well right now. But I will say, it's these women. No one. They can't do it, right? And I guess, they can't just not shut the hell up, right? Now your baby might. I heard that Child Protective Services is looking in, because okay, you want to raise a racist baby, great. Why are you posting it on Twitter?
Exactly.
Why, you idiot? You stupid fuck.
Well, pretty much that. I mean, you have seen a Brit getting arrested for turning his pug to do the Austrian painter salute. I don't know if you remember that. Count Dankula.
I don't, but it tracks.
Oh, yeah, Count Dankula. He wanted to pull a prank on his girlfriend, and he taught her pug to do the Austrian painter salute. And he made a YouTube video out of it, and he uploaded it to YouTube with some background noise and things like that of said Austrian painter. Now, people found that out, and they reported Count Dankula, and Count Dankula was put in prison for a joke. What do you think will happen when you teach your baby, a human being, not your pet, certain racist slurs? It's like, yeah, if you get to jail for teaching a dog a trick, you will most definitely hear from somebody when you teach your kid that. It's like, are you effing retarded? And then they'll cry free speech. Like, the free speech, blah, blah, blah. This country is totalitarian. It's like, no, maybe. But there still are certain rules, where you have to abide by. It's like, not going to happen. Was the kid playing Xbox Live when he said the N-word? No, Dre, the baby was a year? How old would the kid have been? A year or something?
Let's give the guys some advice, right?
Treat
your personal life the way you treat. If you have a porn habit, like, do guys discuss porn in public? No. Then don't discuss your fucking personal life on the internet. That's all. Now, obviously, I have a brand to run, so I have to post little details about my life, because you need to play the game, right? Part of the game is like, hey, follow my channel because here are my receipts, and they're very light receipts. My receipts usually end up being my experience, right? Which is what it should be. But a lot of people don't use they just like, how are you going to take advice from women when she's never sat in front of a woman with 12 times the testosterone that she has, and dated a chick, or had to sweep a chick out for her feet. She's never had to do that. So, that's weird. But for the most part, just you should be not telling people, and also your ideas. If everyone has ideas that are not politically correct, that probably would get them in lots of trouble if they had them. You either have an anonymous account, work for a company that is faceless, like mine, or or work for yourself. And even then, you still have to be careful, right? There's rules. There's rules to this. This free speech shit this is not going to keep you out of jail, right? Or keep you from losing your job or your business, right? You have to be smart when it comes to shut the F up. And
no, pretty much in every situation, because you and I kind of went all over the place when it comes to like dating, when it gets to online, but like work environment related, I think is very important as well. And I talked to Mish about this. Like, you and I have opinions. Of course we do. We're human beings with our own experiences. But as soon as you get to work, let that ego and those opinions just slide. Just let it slide and let people say whatever they want. And the best thing you can do is let your actions speak for themselves. When, like with you, like you openly date, blah, 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 blah. And with your friends, like, don't tell your friends, like, oh, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, unless they ask you, of course. But the more they see you date, they will ask you about it at a certain point. Same with fitness things and things like that. I have had so many coworkers say the dumbest fucking shit when it comes about food, where I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. And I wanted to say something, but I just knew as soon as I will say something, they won't listen, or they will bring up some garbage argument here or there about whatever. Even
Oh
like,
no, not me. I don't do that because
I have a thyroid issue.
yeah, especially when you give guys girls advice, they're like, it's always the number one thing they try to protect themselves from is they're trying to protect is the ego. Like you tell them, hey, dude, you're doing this. No, I don't do that. That's what beta guys do. I'm like, you're doing it though. You're protecting. You're like you're trying to like put this shadow or a smoke screen over my eyes to try to convince me. I'm like, no, you're doing it. Like I'm a third party. I can see it clearly, dude. And it's always the
Don't
same thing.
gaslight me.
Yeah, it's like they try to convince me that it's not really. I'm like, dude, you're not gonna convince me, bro. This is why you're not gonna convince me. And I do have a story about shut the f up, right?
Ooh, go ahead.
And now that I guess we're about to. Are we wrapping at the hour mark or?
You know what? Yeah.
Okay.
And then you guys in the chat are gonna raid Digital Ryan, and be sure to subscribe to his channel because we want Coach to leave the sphere and be at peace.
Yeah. All right. So 2021, I start hitting a little bit of my stride with dating, right? Early 2021, February. And I meet this chick, and date goes well. We hook up, right? And it's my birthday coming up. Or we kind of stopped talking. There was a big ice storm that took out Texas for like a week and a half, and all that, right? And then we start. She kind of like, we're dealing with that, and everyone's dealing with their broken plumbing and all these emergencies and all that stuff. So we stopped talking a little bit, and then my birthday pops up, and I tell her, "Hey, you want to be my date for my birthday?" She's like, "Yeah, that'd be fun," right? And which is weird because you shouldn't involve like girls you don't know to hang out with you and your friends on a birthday. That's weird, right? Mistake number one. But so my birthday comes, and I decide to ghost her and go out with another chick, right? And then I post about it on Twitter. Not very smart, right?
Yeah.
And I say, hey, I had a chick, and then I ghosted her, and now I'm going out with this chick, blah blah blah. I'm such a whatever. I was an idiot, right? Still kind of smart guy, but I guess I had never had that level of abundance in my life. So I was like, oh, like I'm the man now. I let it go to my head.
Mhm.
The chick that I ghosted on found out. It was like, what the fuck? And then she was pissed off. She found out through a Twitter post because apparently she followed me on Twitter. I had followed her on Twitter like an idiot, right? And she made a TikTok about me.
Ooh.
With my face and the girl's face, right?
Mm.
And then she made that post on, "Are we dating the same guy, Dallas?" Right? She continued, and that post was up for 10 weeks. Obviously, it helped me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I mean, Rob and I talked about that. There was a guy in my chat who was worried about, are we dating the same guy Facebook? And Rob and I look at each other. It's like, motherfucker, Ted Bundy had chicks coming after him.
Yeah.
Like, some girls could say the most horrible shit about you online, and there will always be one girl who's like, did he beat you with his left or right hand? Because
I prefer left.
yeah, like asking for a friend. It's like there's always one.
Yeah, and then like now, is it scary still? Yeah, because you don't know. You just don't. It's your face out there for the world, and all that. And at the end of the day, like, my plan of action was to. So we matched again with this girl a couple years later. I think last year or the year before. I don't remember. And we talked and all that stuff, and luckily she's a nice person, but she's a little, but she's nice, and we became friends. Like, I was that was my goal, right? And I took her out for some wine. We talked, and we ended up hooking up again. I mean, the charm. But the lesson here is that you might not be so lucky as me, right? You might if you do your fuck boy shit, your city boy shit, and all that. You're just plastering all over social media. There are consequences, right?
Yep.
And if I would have just been quiet, if I would have just given her an excuse, right, or something like that, if I wouldn't have used my masculine, stupid ego to brag to strangers on the internet that I have a vagina that likes me, yeah, then it would have been less stressful for me and all that stuff. So I learned my lesson. So from now on, I don't post women in my real life social media at all, ever, right? And if I do, it's a female friend, right? Or it's a girlfriend, right, that I'm in a relationship with. But lesson, guys, is that yes, the outcome was that I got laid and I got free marketing. But what if it wasn't? What if it was something else, right? And at the end of the day, always protect yourself, because social media is a tool, but it's also a weapon. So be careful.
Just be careful with that. I think we've learned a lot today. Let's see. There we go. Here's Nuke's channel. Go there. He is and how many are you now? Let's see.
1.4.
Nice. Get him to 2. Get him to 2K. You'll outgrow my channel in no time. You will.
Yeah, I'm just gonna buy followers. That's what
you don't need to.
Well, when I say buy followers, I mean I'm gonna slip each one of your followers a 20 and be like, unfollow Jack and follow me.
There's okay. I'm geeking out now a bit, but there's 2 YouTubers I follow who are in like the Pokemon scene, and they are a bit more on the edgy side, where it's like they don't mind the language, whatever. They just drink on stream and whatever. They're pretty cool guys. But they actually, during their own live streams, tell their followers to unsub from the other account, and you can see the other guy dropping. It's
That's
funny. Fucking funny. Yeah, but then, of course, the next stream, they're all back, and it's like, it just goes back and forth. It's actually pretty funny. So remember, kids, unsubscribe from Nuke.
Subscribe to Jack.
Subscribe to me. But in all seriousness, very funny, Atham. $2. Jack sucks at Helldivers 2. I don't even have it yet.
Dude, me and Atham were playing last night. It was a rough mission, man. I had like 2 Pile Titans chasing me. I had to like go up behind corners just to like breathe. I was like, what the fuck's going on? Luckily, I think we beat the mission, but holy shit. Yeah. And then there was this dude we were playing with. He's just like, hey guys, I can't find the super sample, which is like one of the rarest forms of currency in the game that you have to like seek out and find. And we're just like, dude, fuck that. We're dying out here. Let's call for extraction and get the hell out, because we're not gonna make it if we just dilly-dally,
Oh, nice. But like, is it story mode, or are these missions just renewing every time?
There's just a certain there's no story mode, right? But
nice.
It's just certain different types of mission, like go defeat this many monsters, or defend this base, or save these people, or go destroy a rogue base, or something like that. And just there's multiple things. You just have to go out there and do it, right? But there's like side quests or like side missions where it's like collect super samples, which is like a form of currency in the game, or destroy this, or take out this bug nest. But sometimes you have so much bugs and giant bugs chasing you, killing you, and running through your team that you're just like, listen, bro, let's just do what we have to do and get the hell out of here. So yeah.
I can already do an hour stream on that. You just explaining Helldivers to me, and me very inconspicuously buying a PS5 all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's Starship Troopers. There you go.
Okay, well,
Helldivers explained. With the same humor. Look at the intro of Helldivers too, like the intro. I'll send you a link after this.
Okay.
And you'll be like, oh, it's Starship Troopers.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm doing my part. Okay, guys, listen up. Go raid Ryan. Go raid Digital Ryan. Nuke's channel is in the description, in the chat, and in the title of the video. As for me, hit the like. How does it go again? Hit like, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below your thoughts.
All the OnlyFans, all that.
Yeah, the Linktree, the OnlyFans, the butt massages, things like that. And support the channel, become member, get book puck. Toodles.
City boys up. City boys. City boys.
City boys. Red evening tonight. See you soon. Cheers. City boys.